In the polished, unforgiving halls of Northwood Preparatory Academy, Ilara was a ghost. She moved through the crowds of designer-clad students like a whisper, her presence intentionally overlooked, her existence barely acknowledged, except when it served as a target for casual cruelty. Her clothes were simple, her backpack worn from use, and her focus was entirely on her books, a choice that made her an immediate outcast in a world that prized social status above all. The daily barrage was a subtle, corrosive acid. It was the snickers that followed her down the hallway, the way students would close their locker doors just as she approached, or the accidental shoves that sent her books scattering across the floor. They called her Charity Case, Scholarship Ghost, and a dozen other names designed to remind her that in their eyes, she simply did not belong among the elite. Ilara endured it all with a quiet stoicism that her tormentors mistook for weakness. She never cried where they could see, never raised her voice in protest. Instead, she poured all her energy into her studies, finding refuge in the complex equations of calculus and the timeless prose of classic literature. Her grades were flawless, a silent testament to her discipline, yet this only deepened the chasm between her and her peers. What no one at Northwood knew was the truth behind her unassuming facade. Ilara wasn't a scholarship student struggling to keep up. She was the daughter of Alistair Vance, the formidable CEO of Vance Industries, the very corporation that was the school's largest benefactor. Her father had insisted she attend under a different surname, wanting her to understand the world and earn respect based on her character, not her name. This secret was both her shield and her heaviest burden. It protected her from the sycophants who would flock to her name, but it also trapped her in a painful social experiment. Every day was a test of her resilience, a trial by fire designed to forge her character. But even the strongest steel can bend under constant pressure, and she was beginning to feel the strain of this hidden war. The annual science fair was meant to be Ilara's moment of quiet triumph. For months, she had poured her heart into a project on renewable energy, constructing an intricate working model of a miniature solar grid. It was innovative, meticulously researched, and she hoped it would finally allow her work to speak for itself, earning a sliver of respect from teachers and maybe even a few classmates who valued intellect. The morning of the fair, she arrived early to set up her display. As she made her final adjustments, a group led by the school's most popular and cruelest student, Marcus, approached her table. With sneering smiles, they accidentally tripped near her display, sending a large soda cascading over her entire project. The carefully wired circuits shorted out, and her months of hard work were ruined in a sticky, sugary flood. Their laughter echoed in the cavernous gymnasium, a sound far more painful than the loss of her project. The supervising teacher gave a cursory glance, sighed, and told her to clean up the mess, offering no reprimand to Marcus and his friends. In that moment, Ilara felt a profound sense of hopelessness. It wasn't just about the project anymore. It was the crushing realization that her efforts were worthless in a system that favored them. She spent the rest of the day hidden in a forgotten corner of the library, the laughter of her peers replaying in her mind. For the first time, she truly felt broken. She questioned her father's methods, her own strength, and whether any amount of character was worth this relentless humiliation. The silence of the library felt like a tomb, and she felt utterly and completely alone, a ghost haunting a world that refused to see her. This was her lowest point, a silent scream in an empty room. The weight of her secret identity, combined with the cruelty of her peers, felt like an impossible burden. She wondered if it was time to give up, to call her father and admit defeat, to retreat from a battle that seemed unwinnable. The very foundation of her resilience had been shattered, leaving behind only doubt and despair. As Ilara sat huddled between dusty bookshelves, trying to make herself invisible, a quiet presence approached. It was Mr. Henderson, the elderly school librarian, a man who saw more than most from behind his spectacles. He didn't say much. He simply placed a cup of hot tea on the table beside her and a book, its cover worn with age. The title read, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. He didn't mention the science fair or the incident he had surely heard about through the school's rapid gossip mill. Instead, he just tapped the book gently and said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." His voice was soft, but the words resonated with the force of a thunderclap in the quiet library. He gave her a small, understanding smile and walked away, leaving her with the tea and the ancient wisdom. That simple act of kindness, of being seen when she felt most invisible, was the spark. It was a lifeline thrown into her sea of despair. It reminded her that not everyone was cruel, that quiet strength and wisdom still existed in the world. The warmth of the tea seeped into her cold hands, and the weight of the book felt substantial, a tangible piece of hope. She opened the book, and the Stoic philosophy within spoke directly to her soul. It taught of an inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that no external force could breach. It spoke of finding strength not in the validation of others, but in one's own virtuous actions and integrity. She realized her father wasn't just testing her. He was giving her the chance to build that citadel for herself. The despair began to recede, replaced by a slow-burning ember of determination. Marcus and his friends could destroy her project. They could mock her appearance, but they could not touch her mind or her character unless she allowed them to. That evening, she decided she would no longer be a victim. She would become the architect of her own resilience, using their cruelty as the very fuel for her ascent. Ilara's journey of recovery was not a loud declaration of war, but a quiet revolution within herself. She stopped trying to avoid her tormentors and instead began to meet their gazes with a calm, unwavering confidence that unsettled them. Her posture straightened, her steps became more purposeful. She was no longer a ghost floating through the halls. She was a silent, solid presence who refused to be erased. She channeled the hurt and anger from the science fair incident into an unbreakable focus. Her study habits, already meticulous, became legendary. She was the first to arrive at the library and the last to leave. She took on extra credit projects, not for the grades, but to push the limits of her own understanding. Her mind became her sanctuary and her weapon, a place where their petty insults could not reach. She found support in unexpected places. Mr. Henderson, the librarian, became a quiet mentor, recommending books on strategy, philosophy, and leadership. A chemistry teacher, Ms. Albright, noticed her renewed passion and invited her to assist with advanced university-level research after school. These small pockets of acceptance and respect helped rebuild the confidence that had been so brutally torn down. This period was about more than just academic achievement. It was about building what she now called her inner armor. Each insult she ignored was a plate of steel. Each late night of studying was the act of forging it stronger. She learned to detach her self-worth from the opinions of those who sought to diminish her, anchoring it instead to her own integrity, her intellectual curiosity, and her unwavering work ethic. She was playing a long game, one her peers couldn't even comprehend. They saw a girl who had simply become quieter and more intense, but they missed the transformation happening beneath the surface. She was no longer just surviving Northwood Preparatory Academy. She was preparing to conquer it, not with their tactics of cruelty, but with an undeniable display of merit and character that would soon become impossible to ignore. The climax arrived at the annual Vance Industries Legacy Gala, a lavish event hosted at the school to award scholarships and celebrate the partnership. It was the most important night on the Northwood social calendar, a time for students to impress the corporate titans in attendance. Marcus, a finalist for the top scholarship, was preening in the spotlight, confident in his victory and the power of his family's connections. The guest of honor and keynote speaker was, of course, Alistair Vance. As he took the stage, a hush fell over the grand ballroom. He spoke of innovation, of leadership, but most importantly, of character. True value, he said, his voice resonating with authority, is not inherited. It is not found in a brand name or a bank account. It is forged in adversity and revealed through integrity. He then announced the winner of the prestigious Vance Innovators Award, the grandest prize of the evening, given to a student whose work demonstrated exceptional promise and resilience. This year's winner, he declared, developed a groundbreaking sustainable energy proposal that has already garnered interest from our research and development department. Her name is Ilara. A wave of confused murmuring swept through the crowd. As Ilara walked calmly toward the stage, her simple dress a stark contrast to the glittering gowns around her, the students stared in disbelief. Marcus's face was a mask of shock and fury. She accepted the award, shook her father's hand, and then turned to the microphone. "Thank you," she said, her voice clear and steady. "And thank you, Dad, for this incredible lesson." The final piece fell into place as Alistair Vance put his arm around her. "I am so proud of my daughter, Ilara Vance." The name echoed through the silent ballroom, and the truth was finally revealed. The narrative of the girl everyone bullied turned out to be the CEO's daughter was no longer a secret. It was a stunning public revelation, and the world of Northwood Preparatory Academy had just been turned upside down. The silence in the ballroom was deafening, broken only by a few nervous coughs. The students who had tormented Ilara for months looked as if they had seen a ghost. Marcus, in particular, was pale. His earlier arrogance completely vanished. The reality of the situation crashed down upon them. They had not been bullying some insignificant outcast. They had been relentlessly cruel to the daughter of the most powerful man in the room. Alistair Vance let the moment hang in the air, allowing the weight of their actions to settle. He was not a man given to overt displays of anger. His power lay in his calm, unshakable authority. He looked directly at the group of students, his gaze lingering on Marcus. "At Vance Industries," he began, his voice dangerously quiet, "we value character above all else. How you treat people when you think no one of importance is watching is the truest measure of who you are." He then announced that the scholarship Marcus had been a finalist for was being re-evaluated. Furthermore, the school's code of conduct and its enforcement would be undergoing a strict review, funded and overseen by a new ethics committee from his company. There would be no dramatic expulsions, but a far more potent lesson. Their actions had direct, real-world consequences on their futures and the reputation of their families. The fallout was immediate. Parents, once proud of their children's place at the elite school, were now horrified by their behavior. The social hierarchy of Northwood, once so rigid, crumbled overnight. The bullies found themselves ostracized, not by Ilara's decree, but by a student body suddenly aware that cruelty was a liability. They were forced to confront the ugliness of their own behavior without a shield of popularity to protect them. For Ilara, this was not about revenge. Watching their downfall brought her no joy. It was a somber, necessary recalibration of a broken system. The real victory was not their punishment, but the lesson that was being learned by the entire community. True power was not about putting others down. It was about integrity, resilience, and the quiet strength to be kind in a world that often rewards the opposite. In the weeks that followed the gala, Ilara could have chosen to wield her newfound status as a weapon. She could have reveled in the fearful apologies and sudden, insincere offers of friendship. Instead, she did something far more powerful. She used her experience to build something positive, transforming her personal pain into a collective purpose for the entire school community. Working with her father and the new ethics committee, she spearheaded the creation of the Vance Initiative for Empathy and Innovation. It was not a typical anti-bullying program. It was a mentorship system that paired older students with younger ones, focusing on collaborative projects that required teamwork, communication, and mutual respect. The goal was to foster a culture where a student's value was based on their contribution, not their social standing. She personally led the first sessions, speaking with a vulnerability and strength that captivated her audience. She did not point fingers or name names. Instead, she shared her own feelings of isolation and how the simple kindness of one person, Mr. Henderson, had changed everything. She spoke of how adversity, when met with resilience, can become a catalyst for profound growth and positive change. Her former tormentors watched from the sidelines, humbled and quiet. Some even approached her, offering genuine apologies, which she accepted with grace but not naivety. She understood that real change took time. Her focus was not on punishing the past, but on building a better future for the students who would come after her, ensuring no one else would have to feel as invisible as she once did. Ilara Vance was no longer just the CEO's daughter. She had become a leader in her own right, her authority earned not through her name, but through her journey. She had taken the worst parts of her experience at Northwood and used them to forge a legacy of compassion and integrity, proving that true transformation is about what you build, not what you destroy. Ilara's story became a legend at Northwood, a cautionary tale and an inspirational benchmark. The school's culture slowly shifted from one of exclusion to one that celebrated diverse strengths. The tale of the girl everyone bullied turned out to be the CEO's daughter served as a constant reminder that everyone carries a story and that a person's true worth is often hidden from plain sight, a crown you cannot see. Her journey illustrates a universal truth. The greatest adversities we face often hold the seeds of our most significant transformations. The cruelty she endured did not define her. Her response to it did. She discovered a strength within herself she never knew she possessed, a resilience forged in the fires of social isolation. This inner fortitude became more valuable than any inheritance. This is the essence of overcoming adversity. It is not about the absence of struggle, but about finding meaning within it. It's about recognizing that moments of profound despair can be the very catalysts that push us toward our true potential. Ilara's story is a testament to the quiet power of integrity and the unshakable strength of a character that refuses to be broken by the judgment of others. We all have a version of Northwood in our lives, a place where we feel underestimated or unseen. But like Ilara, we all possess an inner citadel, a core of strength that can withstand any siege. The key is to build it, to fortify it with self-respect, and to remember that our value is not determined by external labels, but by the content of our character. If this story of resilience and hidden strength moved you, please share your own experiences of overcoming judgment in the comments below. Your story could be the spark of hope for someone else. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspirational stories that remind us of the incredible power of the human spirit.